So, I kind of wanted to talk about this as I've seen this topic brought up a few times as of late, and I just strongly disagree, right? I understand if you think I'm elitist, if you think I'm a shill. I know a lot of people think that, and maybe I am, maybe I don't even realize it. However, I do try to be as honest with myself as possible, as I just don't like lying to myself, right? It's a big thing I've had even before Gotcha, before CC space. I don't want to lie to myself, just say shit how it is, right? And so a big topic that I've seen as of late is HSR and how it's gotten worse, so called. And I've seen a lot of people with this take. However, the more I think about it, and as someone who consistently plays this game, I have to say I completely disagree. Like, it's not even like a soft disagree, it is a hard disagree. This game has legit only been improving. Its storytelling has massively improved during Amphorius as compared to the beginning of Amphorius, right? 100% had its issues, had its flaws. I myself believe I made a video or two on how much of a slog it felt getting through Ampho in the first one or two patches. However, they instantly fixed a lot of the issues it had, and this massively helped my enjoyment of actually playing the game. And so the storytelling became a bit better. They added more like cutscenes with very fluid animations. They added more map expansions that just continued looking better and better. So story wise, they've already improved vastly, right? At least in my opinion. Then you as well have the free limited 5 stars that we have been getting in this version as compared to before. We have never gotten free limited 5 stars outside of version 3. It has literally never happened. At most, we got the free standard selector for a little bit, and that was absolutely it. I appreciate it because Bronya is still pretty good these days. There's no point in trying to sugarcoat it. However, they just don't compare to getting new limited 5 stars. And we didn't only get one, we didn't only get two, we got 3 of them in this entire version, which massively helps a lot of people in being able to clear their endgame content, right? After this, we as well have a lot of QOL being added into this version. The biggest one for a lot of people who aren't too much into story is the skippability of anything, really. In 3.4, they introduced the ability to skip main quests, and then in 3.6, they kind of finalized this entire thing by now allowing you to skip side quests as well. So the entire game, except for cutscenes, I believe, is skippable. So if you're a new player trying to blast through the content, it is going to be way faster as compared to before. They also added the variable dice. If you get a super high value piece where it's better to go into a variable dice instead of, using 5 self-modeling to create a new one, then you can craft the variable dice, re-roll, and have a good chance of getting better rolls on a super high value piece you don't want to get rid of. You as well have the fact that this new endgame mode, even though it's a bit whaley, I'm sure a lot of people are still able to at least get 1 or 2 extra self-modeling resin off of it, which is pretty big in of itself. Adding extra self-modeling resin currency to what you gain every single patch will be a big game changer for getting those very high value, orbs, ropes, boots, chests, whatever it is you're struggling to get at the time, and allow you to just instantly get it over with, right? You also have the fact that they are now adding the ability to use 240 Trailblaze power in one instance. So you no longer need to be at the screen constantly restarting. You just put 240 Trailblaze power, put it on auto, and all the battles will auto themselves without you needing to be there. They're also adding with one of the new weekly resetting modes in 3.7, I think it's Currency Wars, where you get 100 tickets, and each ticket is worth 10 Trailblaze power, and you can use these tickets to auto battle anything. And I mean skip it, like not even technically battling, you just instantly skip the entire farming process. And this is about 4 days worth of Trailblaze power worth, and you get this every single week, which is pretty strong, right? So I feel like this game has just become way better, in my opinion. I feel like the only way you can look at the game semi-negatively is anomaly arbitration. If you really care about full clearing that endgame content, I 100% understand the complaints from that side of things. However, when people talk about how the game's gotten worse, how the game's, gone south compared to what it used to be, it never makes sense to me, and I can only assume that these are people who are already long gone quit the game, because the game has literally never been better. Like, it's just never been better. They're literally constantly improving on almost everything. The only issue I can say that, most people objectively agree on is that the content events-wise isn't great, right? The quantity doesn't, really show itself in HSR patches. However, I do think, and I've talked about this before, that HSR does this on purpose, as this is supposed to be like the convenience game. And with the recent, added QOL in 3.7, with being able to instantly use your Trailblaze power and getting tickets that allow you to insta skip any battles and just get the mats from Calyxes, this kind of further proves my point that this game is the convenience game to the Hoyo devs, whether people like that or not, right? So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think this game's headed south? Do you think it's just constantly gotten worse? I have the opposite sentiment, and I feel like I don't see many people with this sentiment like I do, where I truly believe this game has basically done nothing but improve, except for a few nitpicky things, and most of them come from the end game side of things instead of the actual game side of things. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.